Unfortunately, there has been a small minority of groups making misleading statements and purposefully distorting facts. I want to be crystal clear. WHO's agenda is public, open, and transparent. WHO stands strongly for individual rights.
Many Canadians and Rebel viewers may already be aware that the World Health Organization is working out the details for a pandemic treaty, which some refer to as a backdoor to global governance. But how many of you are aware of the United Nations and their proposed amendments to previously established international health regulations? Let's dive in. Tamara Ugolini here with Rebel News, and I hope that many of you have seen my previous report with Dr. Mark Trossi on the World Health Organization's pandemic treaty. If not, then I will link to the full report in the written copy of this video report. The aim of that particular treaty is to, quote, kickstart a global process to draft and negotiate a convention, agreement, or other international instrument under the Constitution of the World Health Organization to strengthen pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. But what may be even more alarming to everyday Canadians who didn't vote for the World Health Organization, its members, or any of its directives is that the overseer of the WHO is the United Nations Foundation, also called the UN. It is the self-described decision-making body of the World Health Organization. Now, the UN is responsible for hosting the World Health Assembly every year, which they say has, quote, taken on renewed significance in recent years amid the COVID-19 pandemic. And that assembly is happening next week from May 22nd to 28th, and we'll have 5 Rebel representatives not far from there on the ground covering the World Economic Forum's Davos gathering. We're monitoring these globalist agendas in a few different ways, so if you'd like to stay up to date with our team on the ground in Switzerland, you can do that at our special website at wefreports.com. You can follow along there. Okay, but back to this World Health Assembly, because it is a little bit different. It's taking place about an hour away from Davos in Geneva, Switzerland. It's been proposed that there will be changes taking place to previously established international health regulations, or IHR. They're a, quote, instrument of international law that is legally binding on 196 countries, including the 194 WHO member states, of which Canada is part of. And the concern is that amendments could have devastating, legally binding consequences for the health sovereignty of all Canadians, depending, of course, with whatever the flavor of the day is globally, at the mercy of the United Nations and the World Health Organization, their definitions and response plans to everything from climate change to pandemics. So I reached out to Global Affairs Canada with a few questions. I wanted to know specifically which representatives from Canada would be present at this event, and if Canada would be putting forward amendments, and if so, where could Canadians learn more to stay informed? As is the new normal, no one responded to my media inquiry, so we filed an access to information request to obtain all government communications around any proposed amendments to the international health regulations. You can chip in to support this work at rebelinvestigates.com. Now, since the filing of that ATIP, Canada has since released a press release here. It starts off by saying, Canada has always been an advocate of international collaboration, and this holds true when it comes to addressing global health challenges. This is why Canada is participating in the G7 Health Ministers meeting in Berlin and the 75th World Health Assembly in Geneva. It says that as of May 18th, the Minister of Health, Jean-Yves, arrived in Berlin for the G7 Health Ministers meeting, where the G7 partners will work jointly on global health issues. They will discuss key priorities, such as pandemic prevention, preparedness and response, addressing antimicrobial resistance, tackling challenges stemming from the relationship between climate change and health, and strengthening sustainable global financing. Further down, it continues that Minister Duclos will then travel to Geneva from May 22nd to 24th for the 75th World Health Assembly. He will deliver Canada's plenary statement highlighting our continued commitment to international and multilateral engagement to protect the health and safety of Canadians. Minister Duclos will underscore the importance of working together on recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic and preparing for future health threats. He will also speak to the importance of health equity and the need for prevention and health promotion initiatives more broadly. Canada is committed to collaborate with international partners to advance the health and safety of people in Canada and all around the world. At the bottom of the page, there are contacts and phone numbers listed, so I emailed the media contact requesting the same information regarding Canada's role. It appears that Anne Gagné, Senior Media Relations Advisor for Communication and Public Affairs Branch of the Public Health Agency of Canada, did in fact respond. She confirms that Canada will be participating in the 75th World Health Assembly, will be convening May 22nd to 28th, 2022 to discuss numerous issues, including strengthening the international health regulations. Further to that, she writes, the set of proposed amendments to the international health regulations are posted in document A75/18 and published on the WHO website. They're proposed amendments that have been put forward by the United States of America for consideration. At the upcoming 75th WHA, that's the World Health Assembly, member states, including Canada, will not be agreeing or adopting the full set of proposed amendments as set out in the document tabled by the US. Rather, member states will deliberate on a forward process to consider possible amendments to the IHR, International Health Regulations. As part of this process, all member states will have an opportunity to put forward their own recommendations for our IHR amendments for consideration. It is expected that this process to receive, consider, discuss, and agree on possible amendments to the IHR could take up to 2 years and is unlikely to begin in earnest until this fall. The proposals put forward by the United States are the first of what are expected to be a number of proposals for IHR amendments that will be coming forward from other member states as well and considered as part of this forward process. I will stay informed and I'll report on this topic as necessary. So please be sure to subscribe to my content at rebelnews.com. For Rebel News, I'm Tamara Ugolini. To support this kind of investigative journalism, please consider chipping in at rebelinvestigates.com. Filing, appealing, and sifting through paperwork takes time and energy, and we rely on the generosity of our donors to stay afloat. If you appreciate the work that I bring you, then please consider donating at rebelinvestigates.com.